You look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Einen schönen guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren, ein herzliches Servus aus Wien. Ich bin Ivona Palavra, 23 Jahre alt und seit 21 Jahren wohnhaft in diesem wunderschönen Land. Wie Sie hier sehen, ein paar Bilder aus der wunderschönen Salzburger Altstadt, die mit ihrer wunderschönen Architektur und Unterhaltungskünsten schon viele Menschen fasziniert hat. Berühmt geworden ist sie als Geburtsstadt von Mozart, aber sie hat viel mehr zu bieten als das. Wien. Wien ist gleichzeitig die größte Stadt Österreichs und das kleinste Bundesland. Mit seiner Geschichte, seiner Kultur und seiner Vielfalt hat es so manch einen fasziniert und erfolgreich umworben. Hier sehen Sie den Stephansdom, eines der größten Wahrzeichens dieser Stadt, abgebildet auf der bekannten Wiener Mannerschnitte. Das Kunsthistorische Museum ist eines der wenigsten Museen, die nicht aus einem Palast entstanden sind, sondern eigens dafür gebaut wurden. Es bietet sehr viele Bilder, die die Geschichte dieses Landes widerspiegeln. Das Schloss Schönbrunn. Einst war es der Sommersitz der Habsburger. Heute ist es eines der beliebtesten Reiseziele für viele Touristen. Es bietet mit über 1500 Zimmern viel zu sehen. Neben dem Schloss sind doch die Gärten eine wahre Attraktion für jeden Besucher dieser wunderschönen Parkanlage. Was man sich nicht entgehen lassen darf, ist ein Spaziergang zur Wiener Gloriette, von der aus man einen der wunderschönsten Ausblicke über die ganze Stadt hat. Nachdem man viel gegangen ist, sollte man sich die Zeit nehmen, ein Wiener Essen zu genießen, wie zum Beispiel das Viehjacker-Gulasch. Nachdem man herzhaft gegessen hat, darf man auf die Körperpflege nicht vergessen und deswegen sollte man Ausschau nach einem wunderschönen Rasurladen wie Esbjerg im Wiener Zentrum suchen. Der bietet eine Vielzahl an wundervollen Produkten, die die Rasur des Mannes zu einem wahren Vergnügen machen. Wie man die Rasur richtig genießt, wird Ihnen Joshua Kessler im folgenden Video zeigen.
Happy 4th of July, Big Shavers. Coming to you this time from Vienna, Austria, in my attempt to shave around Europe. This time, it's a 4-day weekend, and Jesse and I took off for Austria to see what Salzburg and Vienna were all about, and hope to convey a little bit about that in my video with you. I'm going to be testing out a new product today from Austria. Take a look there. It's Esbjerg. I'm probably butchering that name. It's a Verbena scent. Very, very clean, herbal smelling, kind of soapy. The texture is kind of a crope, not a cream, not a soap, something in between. Also, got this really cool little Personna injector. It's got a kind of a stainless steel exterior and a nice textured interior made of plastic. I think these were manufactured back in the 70s, but Bruce Weber sent this to me, and I want to thank you, Bruce, for sending it all the way over to Germany for me. So I'm going to try that out. You can see I have about 2 days growth. Need to get this off. Jesse and I are going for a nice dinner tonight. So, got my Shave Mac Americana right out of Germany, and I'm just going to face lather. So Austria is a pretty amazing place. It's history, food, culture, all these things. very easily accessible by metro, foot. Everything is centrally located, and everything is in large quantity in a small space. So you can pretty much walk everywhere and check out all the sites. Obviously, the history of Vienna is extensive. We in the United States measure history in terms of centuries, and here in Europe, of course, they measure it in millennia, and Vienna is no exception to that. So all kinds of wealthy families in this capital city, and they had plenty of art that they left here, and you can check out at the nearby museums. Food, you can get Viennese, Croatian, Hungarian. I think Jesse and I are going to try to get some Hungarian food tonight. It's kind of an interesting place. You got kind of a juxtaposition of the old and the new. You have old buildings in the middle of, right in the middle of brand new, very modern looking buildings. And some very old buildings are actually new buildings. They're made to look old because Vienna was bombed a lot in the Second World War. In addition to smelling lovely, the Esbjerg has very, very slick, I don't know, whatever you call it. It's very, very slick, and you barely feel the blade touching your skin. And despite the almost 3 days growth, this Personna with Personna injector blades is just tearing through the stubble. Razor feels great in my hand. It's wet right now, but it doesn't slip at all because of that knurled handle. And like I said, it's a very comfortable, easy shaver. It seems to be extremely efficient. Perhaps the only downside is the head appears to be just a little bit smaller than your normal DE blade. So the razor actually feels a little bit smaller. I don't know if that's just a first impression or not. So there are a lot of similarities that I've noted here in Vienna with Germany, at least the parts I've seen. Obviously, the language is similar, but based on Ivona and my discussions with her, there are some dialects here in Austria where Germans speaking the High German would have a very, very difficult time understanding the Austrian dialects. Food is very similar. I think Viennese cuisine is very similar if you look at the menus of the typical places. And they seem to keep similar hours as the Germans, which are similar to the US hours. Work about 9, cut out about 5. And not a whole lot going on Sundays. Now, shape culture, from what I can see, is very similar to Germany as well. You can go to a supermarket or or a drugstore type of place and find, you know, Palmolive soap, things of that nature, and a whole lot of cartridge razors. And depending on where you are, you can go into a cutlery shop and see DE razors, or a brush shop and get your DE or brushes made for wet shaving. But you'd be very hard pressed to find a place that's dedicated to wet shaving. I found such a place, not necessarily just me. Ivona showed me a place that sells this. It's actually the same store that creates this stuff. Has an amazing inventory of straight razors, brushes, stuff that would make Paul Bambino go crazy. They had a full line of Müller and Merkur DEs. I mean, it was really quite an amazing place. Full line of British soaps. And that's when I bought this stuff. And Jessie got herself some face cream. Also smells pretty damn good. So like I said, I think this cream is very slick. It smells amazing. But I think maybe I need to do some work on figuring out how to lather it, because on the second pass it's not quite as foamy as it was before, despite adding a little bit more water. One of the benefits of the size of this head is the control you get with it. No problem at all shaving the upper lip area and those tight spots. But I quite like the Personna blade in here. Very comfortable. I'd be interested to see if the Schick gives it a different feel. But just take a look at the look at it. Kind of looks like a poor man's Cobra Classic, huh? I'm going to call that good enough for government business on my neck. I've been having some problems with my neck lately. Some irritation, ingrowns. Even Jessie's telling me that she can't wait until I get my do-it-yourself 10 skin back in the household goods shipment that is on its way from the U.S. I'm going to try to not be overly critical yet about this this cream, but I feel the need at this point to reload a bit, just on my face, just a tiny bit, because maybe I didn't put enough on the brush. But it really seems to have died down in terms of the amount of lather that was built up in the first pass on pass number 3. Of course, this is maybe the 6th or 7th time that I've used the Shave Mac Americana. It's still in the process of being broken in. I think it's exceptional, this brush, in terms of the backbone, the softness. Jessie loves it. It's soft, and all the benefits of silver tip without being mushy. So I enjoy it quite a bit. If you haven't tried a Shave Mac DO1 knot, I'd encourage you to pick up one of their brushes. Finally, a couple shout-outs. Just wanted to say thank you to James Dillon for helping me acquire the Mergrets. At the moment, they're not available for sale online. I was able to sell a couple items and pick his up. Which was a big check off my short list. Haven't used it yet. Looking very much forward to trying it out. I wanted to try this one first because it's kind of a nice little travel razor. It's very light, the Personna, and it comes in this nifty little case, which I don't have handy. But it comes in a neat little case that that fits the replacement blades and the razor. Maybe calling it a case is too charitable. It's more like a plastic enclosure. So I also picked up the Verbena aftershave cream. They also make a gel, an aftershave gel, and they make an aftershave milch. I like the cream of the three of them. And you can see it's kind of wet, but man, does it smell good. It's not sticky. It feels very moisturizing, and it has a wonderful smell. Like I said, it has that soapy kind of herbal smell. I'm not the guy to talk to about describing senses, but it's very pleasant. I think it could be used on a man or a woman, which is handy because Jesse wet shaves as well. And to top it all off, one of the themes that I've noticed here in Austria is Mozart, and as it should be. A lot of famous stuff going on here. We've got Gustav Klimt, the artist, and Mozart. Well, Viennese are known to drink. Well, actually, Mozart would be from Salzburg, but this is a very popular liqueur here, appropriately named Mozart. And tearing a page out of our UK friend's book, I'm going to cap this shave off with a swig of this, what's sure to be chocolatey, sweet liqueur. So, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, many happy shaves. Pretty good.
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you read, you begin with A, B, C. When you sing, you begin with Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. The first three notes just happen to be Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Oh, let's see if I can make it easier. Do, a dear.